I'll second it.
Second by John. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next part of our meeting is public comment. The Board of Education recognizes the value of public comments on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on district matters. Prior to making a public comment, individuals must announce their name, address, and group affiliation if possible. Each speaker's comments are limited to 3 minutes. All statements are directed to the presiding officer. No person may address or question board members individually. Speakers should not expect an immediate response or reaction to their comments. Is there anyone for public comment? Anyone for public comment? Anyone for public comment? Not seeing anyone? We're going to move on to reporting out our next meeting dates. August 19th will be in our next regular board meeting, and September 16th. Board administration opening comments. Board members, is there anything you'd like to start out with? Not seeing any. Administration, anything?
Summer's half over.
Thanks, Steve.
Just gonna Casey.
Next part of our agenda is consent agenda. There's a bunch of things that are put together, which everyone's aware of. Regular board meeting minutes, our policy committee meeting minutes, financial statements for June, monthly bills and receipts for June, employment, and resignations / retirements. If there's any board members that wanted to pull any of those out ahead of time, they were supposed to let us know, but still the question, is there anything else, or can we vote on them all together? And if we could, I'd like a motion, please.
Make that motion.
Motion by Jenny, and a second. Second by Robin. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next will be our administrative reports. Jenny, are you okay to start out? Did I catch you off guard?
Started by president-elect or vice president, technically the vice president. So the 4-year term I got elected to. So that was uplifting. It's a lot of information in 3 days, but it's our board getting ready for the conference. So I have a little anxiety going into it, but it's going to be fun. And then I actually had to stay because I had my last program of distinction meeting online. I've been doing that since February. That's to get you ready for if you want to go through the big QPA process, which is just a process of looking at your athletic department. So there's some things that I've learned that I need to, I don't know, changes do better at. So it's been really a great process for me. I got some things to finish. Only 2 people in the entire state have done the actual QPA, so that I'm working towards getting that for our program here. So see, it's been a busy couple of days for me. Yeah, and football's not far away, so I do have a lens that I get that too. Started our registration process. We did transition to a new scheduling system, Arbiter, so I'm still learning that. I have a link to where you can get scheduled with some of them wrong, so I'm doing my best to get everyone caught up on that. But it's a mess, so I'm gonna keep working on that. Yeah, lots going on.
Questions for Jenny? Thanks much. Tyson?
Pete said, summer is half over. So right now it's just busy getting everything ready for the start of the year and staff to return. Less than a month, we'll have new staff already back in the building for new staff in service. And then soon after that, all staff. Right now, the biggest thing for me is I'm still looking for a school counselor. We have done interviews. I have offered it to 2 individuals. Both have turned it down, which is disheartening because I thought twice we had it locked up and unfortunately didn't happen. We've got the job back out there, but since I posted it last Thursday, I have not gotten a single additional applicant. for the position at all. Something to just kind of keep on the radar, because you might see it in August, is I did have one teacher, Ally Schoenhofer, who came to me. She's actually going for her doctorate right now in counseling. And she did say if we were in a pinch, in a bind, and we absolutely cannot find somebody, she would be more than willing to transition from teaching this, our dual credit psychology classes into the counseling role. So she is willing to do that. The difficult part with her position is she teaches those dual credit psychology classes, which to do so, you need a master's in psychology to do. So trying to fill that role is also equally as difficult to do so. The good news is Lauren Schumacher, who teaches our dual credit developmental psychology class, would be able to teach Allie's dual credit psych classes. So I could almost switch their schedules completely to work out. There's only one small issue, and it is on A days first semester, Lauren would have to teach an overload, which it's our intro to educational practices class. If we had 9 or 10 students in there, I would probably just say we're gonna just drop the class, but we have 21 kids. So I don't want to do that to 21 students. I met with Lauren today. She is absolutely more than willing to teach the psychology classes. She is willing to do the overload as well, which if we did that, at that point, all we're having to do is post for a social studies position, which that's a lot easier to try to find than it would to be to find somebody with a master's in psychology. I want to give it a couple days yet because I'm still hoping we get a counselor to apply and interview and hire. But if we don't, that's the route we're likely going to have to go. And what you would then see from me, hopefully in August, is a new social studies teacher as opposed to a new counselor. And then also a request for Lauren to do an overload just on A days for first semester. So that's kind of where we're at right now. There's a couple teachers that stopped today. I said, all I feel like I've done so far all summer is interview and do reference checks and get absolutely nowhere so far. So been frustrating, but it's part of the gig and we'll get there. So just wanted to give you a heads up on that and let you know that you may see that in the August meeting for a social studies teacher and an overload as opposed to a new counselor, because Ally would be moving into that counselor role.
Questions for Tyson? Thank you. Todd?
For me, similar things to what I reported last month. There's a position here or there that I still have to fill or to see. Those are posted, still finalizing schedules, things like that. That's an ongoing process. Getting ready for fall sports, schedules out there, things of that nature. But also there've been a few meetings with staff, with the flex hours and with some of the other opportunities. There've been chances to meet with more of them or see more of them in the building. So our Spartan Way team, which assists with behavior, we met. We had our second of 3 data retreats. We had the math one since we last met. And then the 2 new hires that we have, our incoming music and our incoming special educator. I had a chance to meet with them right before the 4th of July and walk them around and talk about a few things and start that onboarding process. So, and yeah, it's the halfway part of the summer.
Questions for Todd? All right, thanks, Todd. Heather?
Hiring's the trend. Hopefully I'm on the near end of closing up shop for this upcoming school year for hiring. Obviously tonight's packet had a 3 people on it, and a sub that will be in my building, Desiree. So thank you for approving that. Beyond that, it's just finishing up odds and ends. We all have educator effectiveness as principals, and at the end of the year, we're supposed to review everybody in summary year, and then put them into a special folder. So that takes time, and that's been what I've been doing outside of looking at data with our leadership team. I ready data and then preliminary forward data. It's been a busy summer nonetheless, but again, hopefully it won't slow down, but it'll be a different kind of groove in the next.
Numbers, any questions for Heather? Thank you. Pete?
Well, I don't have as much hiring as the one that, but still looking for some cleaning help. A part-time cleaner position available, and one of my full-time people is out right now. So we're a little bit shorthanded, but still working on that. Kids are coming in the building on Mondays and Wednesdays to the library. Been great, busy and so forth. And then we've also had some staff coming in to meet with each other. They have different team meetings, and also, there's one group that's doing a book study. Actually. Other than that, just trying to get ready for the next year.
Remember questions for people? Next week, Jane?
I will say, I definitely feel like I felt a shift this week in just the number of meetings, the number of staff that I saw. Staff in the building. It's nice to improve next, but definitely feeling that halfway through the summer. Feeling busy working on setting a special education budget for this upcoming year, trying to order supplies of things so that it's ready when kids enter the buildings. Looking ahead at professional development, supporting staffing in a couple areas where I kind of collaborate with the team. It's been big, and then working on Spark and Sprouts, with that being a new program, there's just some initial kind of back end logistics of trying to figure out, how we're going to do invoicing and that collaborating with on that piece. So just those types of things. It's been fun.
Number of questions for Jane? Thank you. Rebecca?
I'm audit mode. So audit is this month, the 29th, 30th. So it's just been doing all of that. Just all the entries, closing things out, setting up rules for money not received, and then making sure all the projects were posted in 25-26. I will give you an update next month regarding those projects and like what the final payments were. The only one that we could not get in was the flooring at high school. Struggled with contact with them for a bit, and it was waiting for a tile cutter, and they finally came this past Monday, so there's no way that I can make a payment for June and that one there just started up again. So.
Questions for Rebecca? Thank you. Llewellyn?
So Mike asked me to pass along some information about the donation from DNS that he had talked about previously. And so the donation is not what we had expected it to be because of a misunderstanding. But the donation is 2 auto plan heat presses that each cost about $2,000. So that donation. We have Neola is our policy management service. And we have Board Docs as a separate entity that actually houses our policies. They have kind of split ways. And so Neola developed their own tool. It looks very much like Board Docs, but it is very different. So it's a learning curve with our, getting our policies all set up in that, but that should be done in another week or 2. We started working on e-timesheets. So the team piloted with about 10 summer employees that are hourly, getting them on board with e-timesheets. And then they just recently expanded to the rest of the summer crew to do e-timesheets. And that's actually going to be active tomorrow. So information was sent to them on how to do that. It's really simple. You download an app on your phone. It has to be on the district Wi-Fi. And so then you just, click enter and that, clocks you in, and you click out and it clocks you out. That's it. It's not tracking anybody. It's not doing it. It's just in and out. And for people that don't want to use their phones, we do have computers set up in each of the offices. So you'd have to go to the office, click on the app, enter in, go there to click out at the end of the day. But that should be a time saver for our supervisors, where they're not going to have to manually keep adding up time as they did on paper time cards. And then the system actually feeds into Skyward, so it should help a little bit with payroll too, and the time it takes to do that for our hourly staff. Our phone system is having a bumpy start. The implementation's a month earlier than we had originally anticipated because our phone server died, like completely died. So the choice was to just start the switch over right away, we didn't want to buy a new server for the phones for a month. So Scott's been kind of scrambling on the back end. Some of us have gotten new phones. Some people haven't. We had a problem with Brightspeed, which is why we didn't want to stay with Brightspeed, and switching the numbers over to the cloud application. they switched the numbers, but not all the numbers moved over. So then we had to figure out what happened, and then had another test batch of numbers, those went through. So we think now finally we're getting all of the numbers. That's why we had to also have temporary numbers for the district that went right into the main office, because not all of the numbers went through in the first batch, and that's just because the, two systems were talking to each other. So we're kind of working through that, and then it's going to be a matter of making sure that that staff is straightened out. The new phone, their phones, it's, very, very similar, but what we do have is, what's new with this one is that there's an application and you can put it on your phone. So like for us, if we're wherever we are, we can pick up, calls that are on our phone in our office. The other really neat thing is texting. So if we have parents that, it's better texting. We don't have to use our personal numbers to text parents anymore. We can text on our cell phone or on our computers, and it looks like it's coming from our office phone numbers. So that's nice. So a big learning curve with that as well.
Right, questions for Joellen? Thank you. Next, we're gonna move on to action items, RFPs for the copy machine.
Yeah, so, our 5-year lease for the copiers are up. So I sent out bids, and I forgot to put this in the bid sheet, that it went to besides Rhyme and James Imaging, it went to MBM, Gordon Flush, and then I think it's Ryko, that's what you say. One of them responded with some questions, because there was an option where they had to leave to ask questions, but none of them ended up getting no response from them. So James Imaging was the only one that got one in, and they actually literally were 8 minutes before the deadline. So, and it's kind of a huge difference. Rhyme is very low, 60-month lease cost for the 5 years is $127,000 versus James Imaging is $221,000 in 5-year span. Also, if we do stay with Rhyme, this is where we would get the $5,000 grant from Sharp, because we could stay with the Sharp printer. So that was, we were going to use that for the phone system if we stay with Rhyme. So my recommendation was to stay with Rhyme, just based on service and cost as well. Service, they're
Hearing the recommendation, we're back up. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Linda, second by Dave, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Thank you. Next is 2025-2026 budget revisions. Rebecca.
Yeah, so I did do this last year. This is, standard procedure that we should be doing that was actually recognized in the audit, that when we have overages, we should be adjusting the actual budget. So these are the year-end budget revisions, and it's only for the general fund that we do this for. So revenue is increasing $600,700, and then the same with the expenses.
Hearing that, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Linda, second by Robin, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next is approval of our student activity account for class of 2030. Tyson?
Just got obviously a new class of freshmen coming in, so they will need an account for all the money that they fundraise to put into and then take out of when they need to pay for things. So just looking for approval to start that account for them.
Hearing that, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion by Linda, second by Jenny, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next is approval of our commercial insurance. Rebecca, I can report that.
Yes, we work with Chris Rasmussen through Bizans, and so he does put everything out to market every year to see if we can get lower rates. We ended up, I always budget about 3 to 5% higher each year, knowing that property values are always going up, and it ended up being kind of double. Usually we're like 15,000 more a year. This year it was 30,000, and so I did for the 35,000. So I did go through and explain the areas and why. I mean, so it was the bus incident, and it was the fire, and then it's just a trickle effect off the liability of why everything went up. The cyber insurance, he recommended based on claims that he's seeing out there now that we should increase it, so I did go ahead and do that, just having that coverage. I felt was important knowing that we've had an incident in the past, so I went with that recommendation. Other than that, he hasn't given me any more. I did talk to Dave and the inland marine. I said I will talk to Chris, but he is on vacation right now, so I haven't heard back from him of increasing that.
That can be adjusted at any point. in time.
Yeah,
Because if, I'm like, without digging all the way on through everything, that was one area that caught my attention that we may be underinsured on. And if we need more, we need to up the amount. But yeah, and that cyber insurance, I've seen way too much of that.
Yep.
Yeah, we got it. So I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion by Dave, have a second,
I'll say.
second by Robin. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next is approval of a high school coaches handbook. Jamie or Tyson, who wants to talk about that?
I just added a few things. I didn't have a philosophy or purpose and core values in there. We have to add that, notice. Just change a little bit with our procedures with busing, how we're gonna do our release times, the communication of that new law. Talking to the coaches about that, about using the app. And just some emphasis on professional development.
Do we have a motion to approve, board members?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Linda, a second.
I'll second it.
By John, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Carries. Next is approval of our annual notice of academic standards. Mike's not here, so Joellen's gonna take over for that, I believe.
Yeah, this is just, something that we have to do every year by state statute is to approve the annual notice of academic standards for the upcoming school year.
There's a motion to approve. Motion by Jenny, have a second. Sorry, second by Robin. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hold. Motion carried. Next is approval of a student application for NWTC Start College Now for fall. 26. Anything you want to say about that?
Oh, just one more student looking to take a couple classes, American Sign Language and medical terminology.
Have a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Linda, second by Jenny. Discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed. Next, we have a whole bunch of policies. Committee or board members, do you want to do them all together? They're all first readings, or do you want to do them individually?
I'll make a motion to go
All together? I have a motion by Linda to do policies for first reading together. Do I have a second? Second by Jenny. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Motion carries. Thank you. This next, we're up to informational items. Annual seclusion and restraint report, Jane, someone want to say on that?
Yeah, so this is a yearly, I need to report those numbers. These numbers also get reported, and sent into PCI, so I kind of broke it down the way that I report the numbers to the state. And the graph, so I like tracking over the years to just kind of see historically where are we. Obviously, our goal is always to be reducing as much as possible. I will say we've had one, student that was kind of an outlier, who had quite a few incidences, and we ended up bringing in a consultant and working with the staff, and after it's kind of one blip in the fall, then things were totally fine, another blip, and it just kind of kept lasting, shortly after working with that consultant, so mid-March till the end of the year, we didn't have another incident, so we definitely, made improvements on that towards the end of the year. But again, with some of our kiddos, that just unfortunately, it's the nature, it's always uses the last resort. We always have those debrief meetings afterwards. We're always having conversations around what else we have done differently, what else we can do in the future, and trying to look at problem solving
so that it really is our last resort. But our numbers, I wasn't really concerned, especially when I take a look at that one outlier student. The only other thing I would note is I have to report them as seclusion and restraint, and there are some times where both things happen in one event, so it looks as though there's, maybe 40 total. That's not quite true. There's probably 30-ish incidences. Just sometimes both events happen within one incident. So that was the thing I would note, unless there's any questions that anybody has about any of the data from this past.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Next is crime statistics on school property, data collection, 2025, 2026. Laura?
Yeah, the state has a law that requires high schools to collect certain statistics, and 8 different categories of incidences or crimes. And so we just have to report that at the end of the year. So Nia, segregates the data, and then I just use an online form and submit that to DPI.
Questions, board members? Thanks, Bill. Next is a proposed operational referendum language. So Joellen, you want to put this together? So Joellen, you want to run with it?
Sure, we're looking at a little bit of change in language and this through, the attorneys that we're using, that we used last time as well as Quarles and Brady. So instead of saying, operational expenses that this referendum will cover would be staff wages and benefits to maintain literacy, reading, achievement, and college and career technical ready programming. We're switching it to teacher and staff compensation and benefits and maintaining reading, math, and college and technical career program. So we just basically kind of swapped out literacy so that we can use the fund stuff to help with that with programming.
Board members, questions about the wording?
So what we're gonna do is we'll bring this back in August for adoption of a resolution to go to. Unless you have any questions about.
Thank you. For the meeting, we have nothing to go into closed session for. Any future agenda items? Anything you're aware of, board members? Not, I'm gonna be looking for a motion to adjourn.
I will make that motion.
Motion by Linda, do I have a second?
Awesome.
Second by Jenny, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I meant something like that.
I'm on Sunday. Is that good for the?
I don't think anybody.
Nope.